Hey y'all, it's Nat. I hope you're having a terrific day today. And for this video, we are going to be talking about the final FMC Readathon. Before we get to anything bookish, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. And you got to tell me in the comments, are you going to be partaking in this readathon? Are you going to be on the good girls team? Let's talk about it. So Bo over at Bo Books, love her so much. I'll have a link to all of the fellow co-hosts down in the description. But she has this amazing Final Girl TBR and utilized it to create the final FMC Readathon, which is going to be going on throughout September. The setup for this is so creative and really fun. I am very excited to dive in. It is a competitive month-long based readathon. We're going to have 5 different rounds, and each team is reading to gather up survival points. But at the end of the round, the team that has the least amount of survival points will be corrupted by the killer, meaning by the last round, there will be one final girl remaining, but there's one last round to see whether or not she is going to survive. The really awesome thing about this readathon is literally every page you read counts as a point, but there are many prompts you can try to use to increase your points and also raise your chance of survival. There are 5 teams, each with their own dedicated bonus prompt, and it is usable as many times as you want unless your team gets corrupted. So the 5 different teams we have, each of these are based on different final girl archetypes. Starting from the top, we have the cheerleaders, and these are being led by Ivy, Deja, and Steph. The bonus prompt for this team is to read popular new releases. So, for example, if you are somebody who stays on top of new releases, this is probably the perfect team for you. Next up are the Rebels. This team is being led by Steph, 𝗖cie, and Elena. Their team prompt is to read banned books. Unfortunately, there is a shocking number of those that exist out there. There are many lists you can find, and time again, it always ends up being books that are definitely worth reading. Next up, we have the Nerds team, which is being led by Alexis, Rochelle, and Madison. Their team bonus prompt is for books that are 400 pages or longer. So if you're a fan of good doorstopper, if you're a big fantasy reader or romantasy, I definitely feel like this team is for you. Next up, we have the Goths, and that team is being led by Brandy, Sarah, and Christine. Their bonus prompt is to read books with a black cover. So if you're setting out a TBR and you notice you got a lot of black books going on in September, this is the perfect team. And lastly, for the starting teams is the Good Girls. Along with myself, 𝗖cie and 𝗖cieých𝘁𝗁𝘁 are helping me to host, and we also have a bonus prompt of reading books with either a film or TV adaptation already created or in production. This is great for me since I've been working on both my manga and comics lately. Perfect excuse to crank through some of those. But of course, that isn't all. There is also the killers. You won't be able to willingly join this team at the start, but if your team does get taken down, you do still have the opportunity to try and win the entire readathon once you're on the killers team. It's being led by our fearless leader Bo, as well as Noelle and Court. As I said at the beginning, every page you read throughout the month will be a point for your team, but there are numerous different ways you can get bonus points, obviously reading your team's prompt, but every single round we will have a new killer as well as a new location, and each of those will also have different bonus prompts you can use. Then weapons will be dropped. These are something teams can randomly find, but they can only be used once. However, you can add up to 3 bonus prompts for every book you submit, which is amazing. So we got to be strategic in how we lay things out. So like I was saying, if your team does have the lowest number of survival points at the end of a round, unfortunately, your team will be corrupted by the killers. But as I also said, your team can still try to win. The killers may actually manage to overtake the final girl at the end. Once your team has been corrupted, rather than reading for survival points, you'll be reading for slasher points, meaning you can actually subtract points from different teams which are still competing. Just because there's a final girl does not necessarily mean she survives. Obviously, with this sort of a setup, we do have all teams averaged out based on size to make sure this is an even playing field, and it will be all balanced out on the backside. If you want to join this readathon, you got to join the Discord. I will have a link to that in the description down below if you're intrigued. And the first question you'll be asked is, what team do you want to join? If you do have any questions as far as how gameplay is going to work, I will say Bo was amazing when she laid out the how to play section of the Discord. It has everything you possibly need to know about this process. But if you do still have questions, because of course it's a readathon, somebody's going to have a question. And chances are, if you thought of it, somebody else probably did too. too. And we do have a questions channel available as well. So on that note, I sincerely hope to see you partaking in this readathon come September, and I would love it even more if you're on my team. Speaking of, for the rest of this video, I do have recommendations for the Good Girls team when it comes to film adaptations. Like I said, these can be either movie or TV show. They can be actively out or in production. So starting out at the top with some of my more recent reads that I've been really loving. Of course, Lord of the Rings as well as The Hobbit, classic fantasy. Hobbit's definitely got some cozier vibes. Lord of the Rings, if you want a travel story, definitely recommend these, especially the audiobooks performed by Andy Serkis. That man truly brings the story to life. Or a series that I have been really enjoying and lasting through is the Kaiju #8 manga series by Naoya Matsumoto. That's right, anime do count as adaptations as well. Really fun action adventure sci-fi series that I am personally eating up, and I want more people to read it. Then of course, if you're in the mood to cry, A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. Just recently, finally got around to reading this. Tissues were necessary. It's a pretty hard-hitting contemporary YA story where we're following this boy whose mother is unfortunately suffering from cancer, and a monster starts to appear in his bedroom. I don't know if I would necessarily say I loved it, but I did recently read The Long Walk by Stephen King, my first Stephen King novel, and this is actually a film. I did not know that when I picked it up, but it is a very slow creeping psychological horror story of this group of boys who partake in a competition that is literally nothing more than walking, and the last one standing wins. Another manga series that I actually recently finished out was Cells at Work by 𝗖cie his𝗁𝗰𝘁, and the main series is only 6 volumes long. There are numerous different spin-offs, however. I know an anime of this exists. I'm pretty sure a movie has been created about it too, and I don't mean Osmosis Jones, though very similar feel. Another one that is also very popular, We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kluwer, is getting turned into, I believe, a film. A very weird horror story following this woman who has some random people come to her house saying that they used to live here and they want to do a little tour of it, and unfortunately she suffers from severe anxiety and can't say no. But once these people are in the house, they won't leave. Then there's also Uzumaki by Junji Ito. Really enjoyed this one. Definitely need to check out more of this author's work. But I do know there's, I think it's a mini series that was based on this. Still need to watch that myself. The art in the manga was horrifying, so seeing it on the silver screen, I'm sure, is just as creepy. In a very opposite direction, I've also got Mr. Villain's Day Off. This is like super cute slice of life, very fast manga reads. Like when I finally saw one in person, it was like, wow, these babies are really thin. Some of the issues are like 4 to 5 pages long because the majority of them are literally just following this villain who is trying to take over the world, but every once in a while he has a day off and just does whatever he wants and starts to see that, hey, there's actually some positive stuff about humanity. Similar feel also with The Way of the House Husband. Very fun series following this house husband who used to be the head of a Yakuza family and now has retired. All he wants to do is be the best house husband to his wife. Absolutely adorable. Really wanting to continue on with this one myself. Then I would be remiss and also just a filthy liar if I did not list the heated rivalry / game changers / role model / the long game, given the fact that, you know, we have the first season, but the second season like literally just started filming. So it's at the top of my mind. I'm sure it's at the top of a lot of yours. And if you somehow haven't already read this series, maybe now's the time to pick it up. Apart from those, I do also have a few favorites that I must shout out. Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder. I still have yet to get around to actually watching the movie of this one, but I was very pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed the story watching this woman who believes she is slowly turning into a dog, and how it kind of helps her to find her identity outside of being a stay-at-home mom. Also, Murderbot, one of my all-time favorite series. These are so fast, so easy to work through. Highly recommend the audiobooks by Kevin R. Free. I adore the socially anxious android. I do still need to get to the newest book though. A few other manga series I gotta recommend. Mariko-chan by Tomoki Uzumi. Very cute, fun slice of life series following this girl who unfortunately for her can see ghosts. But she doesn't want the ghosts to know that. We've also got Soul Eater by Atsushi Okubo, which is a really fun action adventure following 3 teenage groups who are trying to create basically like death weapons for the Shinigami Lord Death. And the plot really evolves from there. Then naturally, Spy Family by Tatsuya Endo. super adorable slice of life following this spy who has to create a fake family. Unfortunately, his fake wife is actually an assassin and his fake daughter is a telepath. So cute. I will literally always recommend this series. Even like the worst volumes of this, I still have a fantastic time. I also feel like it's appropriate for me to say literally every single Emily Henry book People We Meet on Vacation has come out, but I think the rest of them are actively in the process of being made into a film. So really easy choice there. The Children of Blood and Bone trailer recently came out, so I could also shout out that series by Tomi Adeyemi, though personally I did not like how the series ended, but I am still excited for the film, I'll admit. It does look really good. I even have some nonfiction for you. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy is actually getting turned into, I believe, a mini series, which I'm very intrigued about. I can't wait to see how that comes out, but this is a phenomenal memoir and I do recommend. Another favorite of mine, A Man Called Ova by Frederick Backman. Love this book, adored the movie. I think there's actually an English version as well as a Swedish version. Guaranteed to make you laugh and also possibly make you cry. And the last two that were just actively staring at me, and I know these are both being made into movies, Fleet Cute by Meryl Wilsner, as well as 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. Adored both of these romance books. I don't even know, what would I say? Not rivals. Opposites attract soccer romance, plus it's sapphic for the sapphic bingo board if you are working on that. Put a link to my TBR in the cards. 7 Days in June, which is a emotional punch of a second chance romance between these two authors who continuously keep writing about one another in their books. I cannot freaking wait for this one to come out. I know it is going to make me cry and scream and kick my feet all over again. And on that note, I think that's it for today, y'all. So thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, let's leave a bow emoji down in the comments. Side note, this was the first time I have worn a bow in years. I feel like JoJo Siwa. This just is not my usual style. But leave a bow for me down in the comments, as well as tell me, are you partaking in this readathon? I sincerely hope so. But I have links to all my socials if you're not following me on something down in the description. I come out videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you. Bye.